Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naranjaiva Narottamam
Naranjeva Narottamam
Devin Saraswatin Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nastapraye Subhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavate uttama-śloke
Bhagavate uttama-śloke
Bhaktin Bhavadir Naistiti
Bhaktin Bhavati Naistiti
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Nandagopakumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 17, 2-3-17. So the canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is The Pure Devotional Service, The Change in the Heart. Please repeat the sloka behind me. Āyur harati puṁsām.
Āyur harati puṁsām.
Udyann astam yann asau.
Udyan astam yann.
Tasyarte yat-kṣaṇo nīta.
Tasyarte yat-kṣaṇo nīta.
Uttama-śloka-vārtayā.
Uttama-śloka-vārtayā.
Word by word meaning, please repeat behind me. Āyuḥ, duration of life.
Duration of life.
Harati,
Harati.
diseases.
Decreases.
Decreases.
Decreases. Why?
Certainly.
Certainly.
Puṁsām,
Puṁsām.
of the people.
Of the people.
Udyann,
Udyan.
rising.
Rising.
Astam,
Astam.
setting.
Setting.
Cha,
Cha.
also. Yann, moving. Asau, the sun. Tasya, of one who glorifies the Lord. Rite, except. Yat, by whom. kṣaṇaḥ, time. nītaḥ, utilized. uttama-śloka, the all good personality of Godhead. Vārtayā, in the topics of. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Vrindayasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Translation, please repeat behind me. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone. Except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all good personality of Godhead.
All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of Godhead. All good personality of
Purport. This verse indirectly confirms the greater importance of utilizing the human form of life to realize our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord by acceleration of devotional service. Time and tide wait for no man. So, the time indicated by the sunrise and the sunset will be uselessly wasted if such time is not properly utilized for realizing identification of spiritual values. Even a fraction of the duration of time wasted cannot be compensated by any amount of gold. Human life is simply awarded to a living entity, jīva, so that he can realize his spiritual identity and his permanent source of happiness. A living being, especially the human being, is seeking happiness because happiness is the natural situation of the living entity. But he is vainly seeking happiness in the material atmosphere. A living being is constitutionally a spiritual spark of the complete whole, and his happiness can be perfectly perceived in spiritual activities. The Lord is the complete spiritual whole, and his name, spirit whole, and his name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, and personality are all identical with him. Once a person come into the contact with any one of the above mentioned energies of the Lord through the proper channel of the devotional service, the door to perfection is immediately opened. In the Bhagavad-gītā 2.40, the Lord has explained such contact in the following words. Endeavors in devotional service are never baffled, nor in their failure. A slight nor is their failure. A slight beginning of such activities is sufficient even to deliver a person from the great ocean of material fears. As a highly potent drug injected intravenously acts at once on the whole body. The transcendental topics of the Lord injected through the ears by the pure devotee of the Lord can act very efficiently. Oral realization of the transcendental message implies total realization, just as fructification of one parts of a tree implies fructification of all other parts. This realization for a moment is the association of pure devotees like Śukadeva Gosvāmī prepares one's complete life for eternity. And thus, the sun fails to rub the pure devotees of his duration of life, inasmuch as he is constantly busy in the devotional service of the Lord, purifying his existence. Death is a symptom of the material infection of the eternal living being. Only due to material infection is the eternal living entity subjected to the law of birth, death, old age, and disease. The materialistic way of pious activities like charity is recommended in the Smriti Shastras as quoted by Srila Viswanatha Chakravarti Thakura. Money given in charity to be suitable person is guaranteed bank balance in the next life. Such charity is recommended to be given to a Brahmanas. If money is given in charity to a non-Brahmana without Brahmanical qualification, the money is returned in the next life in the same proportion. If it is given in the charity to a half-educated Brahmana, even then the money is returned double. If the money is given in charity to a learned and fully qualified Brahmana, the money is returned 100 and 1,000 of times. And if the money is given to a Veda Paraga, one who has factually realized the path of the Vedas, it is returned by unlimited multiplication. The ultimate end of the Vedic knowledge is realization of the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, as stated in Bhagavad-gītā. Vedaischa charved agam yeva vedya. There is a guarantee of monies being returned if given in charity, regardless of the proportions. Similarly, a moment passed in the association of a pure devotee by hearing and chanting the transcendental message of the Lord is a perfect guarantee for eternal life, for returning home back to Godhead. Maddama gatva punarjanmana vidyate. In other words, a devotee of the Lord is guaranteed eternal life, yet devotee's old age or disease in the present life is but an impetus to such guaranteed eternal life. Hare Krishna. Tasya. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnanāñjana-śalākaya Chakshurunmilitamayen Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashasha Deshatarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today's sloga, it is talking about the sunrise and sunset. It's a time. It's talking about time. So when the sunset and sunrise and sunset, one day is gone for us, and we are celebrating birthdays. Every year we are celebrating our birthdays. Now it is 40, 41, 42, like that. We are celebrating birthday. Even at the age of 80, we are saying that 81, 82, 83. So as much as our age is getting increased, we are one step towards our death. So that we are not able to realize that. We are trying to enjoy that moment also. Okay, this is my birthday. I wanted to cutting the cake and we need to enjoy that. So, and here in this sloka, it is mentioning that if you are not able to utilize your time in the form of human being, then your duration of life is waste. So we should utilize even a second also. If you are not able, if you are wasting your second, even a small second, we cannot, if you give so much of, how much ever gold you will give it to, you can't equalize with so much of amount of gold also. You can't get back even a small second. Even within a second also we can get back in our life. This second is over in our life. It won't come back in our life anymore. So here it is saying that the person who is utilizing his time to discussing about the topics of the Lord, personality of Godhead, and discussing about him and hearing about him and doing the service to the Lord. All the things are equal important. It is not necessary we need to do the service to the Lord always. So we can do the service, we can hear from the Lord, we can speak about the Lord, and we can do this book distribution about the Lord. There are so much, so that we can many services which are connected with the Lord. All are equal potent. It is one of the Bhagavata. It is said that the person who is sitting in the Vyasasana is talking about the Bhagavatam. Bhagavata Saptaha is happening. 7 days it is happening. So at the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam Saptaha, so the 7 days they will cover the Srimad Bhagavatam from Canto 1 to Canto 12. They will complete that entire thing in the summary way. So at the end of the 7th day, there is finally the Bhagavata who is giving the Bhagavatam class. He used to give the Phalasruti. So Phalasruti means what is the benefit out of this much time you spend with hearing about the Lord. What is the benefit out of it? So the person he will say that the final Phalasruti is the person who spoke about Bhagavatam, the people who hear the Bhagavatam, the person who arranged the place, who provided the place there, and the person who arranged, who did all the arrangements. We used to spend some money for the Bhagavatam and prepared prasadam, they cleaned the place. Everyone, each and every person will get the equal benefit. So that is the power of devotional service. That is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the way the people used to spend their time in the olden days, discussing about the Lord. So that is the reason with the Vedic way of life, we are also, even though we are living in the Kali Yuga, and we are also trying to imitate. It's not only imitate, we're trying to realize that the way of life is so good for us. So we need to understand that, and we need to try to follow that kind of life. And in Bhagavad-gītā 2.40, Krishna is saying, what he is saying? Neha Vikramana Sosti pratyavayo na vidyate svalpam abhiyasya dharmasya chayate mahato bhayat. So Krishna is saying that in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Like that Krishna is saying. So in this path, in this endeavor means he is talking about the path of bhakti yoga. The person who is doing the bhakti, even though there is no loss in this, path. That's what Krishna is stressing this point. Even though you are doing the little advancement in bhakti in this birth, you are unable to complete your bhakti in this birth. But this, whatever the little thing you did in this life, it will save you from the great danger. It's protect you from the great danger. Protect one from the great danger. What is the great danger? So it won't allow us to go into the lower species of life in the next life. So the next life we will get it is guaranteed that Krishna is giving the guarantee that next life you will get the human form of life, and also you will get the chance to take a birth in the aristocratic family or in a richest family, so that it will facilitate to continue your bhakti from there. So that facility Krishna will arrange. That is guarantee Krishna is giving in this bhakti yoga. And in this, currently many people are there. The different opinion, people have different things. People do different things. So some will say that, okay, let me do the charity. Okay, Madhava Seva, Madhava Seva. So many different understanding people used to come. Somebody they also will be, let me do the charity. That is enough. So if I do the charity, then Lord will protect me, Lord will save me. So they are not understanding the scriptures, what scriptures are saying. So if you are enoughly money we can give the charity, but you have to give the charity to the right person. That's what Krishna is saying. Sorry, Prabhupada is saying in this purport. So if you are giving you need to give the charity to the qualified person. If you are giving the charity to the person who are all, suppose people are saying that, okay, people are in the roadside, they are doing the beggars. Let me give it to the beggars. Let me give it to the person who are poor. Let me give it to the money. So it is not guaranteed that those money will be utilized by them in the proper way. So then we may ask the questions, what is in that? So let them use whatever they want. But we are doing a charity, right? But we should not be an instrument to make their life in the miserable way. How it will be miserable? Suppose you are giving the money to a beggar. So recently in Tamil Nadu, there is the people, they drank the liquor, which is illegally prepared liquor. They drank and some 50 people died. Suppose those people are very poor people. They are daily daily wages, they used to work. Such people very innocent and very poor. They don't know anything about this. They wanted to work and they will go and enjoy that. That's all. And those kind of people, if you are giving some money, if they are taking that money, if they are going and if they are drinking that, and those people died early, 50 people already died. If something happened, some such problems, or if you are going there drinking, at least they are wasting their money. They are using for drugs. They are using for the sense gratification, that money. That karma also we have to, that karma, we have to share that karma. Whatever the karma is out of whatever the action they are doing with our money, whatever the charity money we give, that karma also we have to share. So that is the reason the charity need to be given to the right people for the right purpose. So that's the reason here it is saying that if it is a non-Brahmana, without a Brahmanical qualification, if you give the money, then the next life, the same person, whatever you give, for the same person, it will come. And if you are half-educated Brahmana, if you give, what you will give? The return will be hundreds and thousands of, it is going to be double. It will, half-educated means it will, whatever the money we give the charity, double it will come in the next life. And if it is if you give for the qualified Brahmana, it will multiply hundreds and thousands of times, the money will multiply and it will return to you. And it will give if you give the money to the person who is who is not only Brahmana, who realized the self-realized soul, who understand the purpose of life, who has the well-versed in the Vedas. If you give Vedic knowledge, if you give that money to that person, it will return to you in unlimited multiplication. That is the way it is the law of nature is set in that. And whatever we are giving the charity, people, we are giving the charity by closing the eyes, who are coming, we are giving the charity and all. So even though we are giving a charity, you are adding to the good karma, the pious activities. So by adding the good karma, punya, you are adding the punya. So by adding this punya, you may get the life to stay in a Swargaloka. So the Swargaloka also, there is a limited period time only you can live in the Swargaloka also. So the people are thinking that, okay, in the Swargaloka, let me go to Swargaloka, there Ramba, Urvasi, they are dancing. We are reading this scriptures. It is there. Ramba, Urvasi are there. They used to always entertain the people there. There's always the music. They will dance. And there is a Somarasa. We can enjoy that. So people are addicted to that. They are trying to, okay, let me go to Swargaloka. They are increasing their eagerness to go to Swargaloka. And they are doing the charity kind of work. They are not following what scriptures are saying. They're just, okay, let me do the charity kind of their own understanding. They are doing that. So those kind of people will go to Swargaloka. But once our pious credit is over, they have to come back to this material world again. They will be kicked out from the Swargaloka. That's what the same when your pious credit was there, the person who will invite you in the Swargaloka, the Indra, Chandra, and the Ramba, Urvasi, they are all invite you like a king. They will invite you when you have the pious credit inside. So in the pious credit, you may have the pious credit to stay for a year or two there, to stay in Swargaloka. That much pious credit you have. So unless the pious credit is there, they will take care of you nicely. Once your pious credit is over, then the same Ramba, Urvasi, same Indra, Chandra, kick you out from the Swargaloka. So in the scriptures, it is said that the same jiva, once it is completed its pious credit in the Swargaloka, it will come into again into this material world through the 5 ways. It is following the path through, it is crossing the 5 type of areas, then again it is getting the body. So it is not necessary that you will get into the human body again. So that is also, it is there. So it is said that once the Swargaloka, they kick you out from the Swargaloka, the Jivatma, it will directly come into the clouds. The raining clouds are there in the sky, it is there, right? So they will come into they fall into the clouds from Swargaloka, they will directly fall into the clouds. So once the rain happen, so that jiva enter this, through the rain, the jiva enter this material world. So once the material, the jiva is enter, you can see that water is entering this material world. It may fall anywhere. It may fall in the forest, it may fall in the drainage, or it may fall in the house, it may fall in the reservoir where the drinking water is there, and it may fall in the trees and plants, or it may fall in any places it may fall. So if the water fell in a jungle or the forest, so that jiva, it will be there, and that jiva, it become a tree, plant, and animals. So based on whatever the credit, so our jiva also fall in that place. So that it will fall in like that. And if the jiva fall in a farming land, or in the reservoir of water, then the reservoir of water, it is connecting with the farming land. The water is coming to the farming land. So first it was there in the sky, and it will come into the farm, along with the water, it will come into the earth. Then through the water, it is going into the plants, whatever the crops we are having, that grains, food grains, the rice paddy and wheat paddy. So those things, it will under grains, what dal and all, it is growing, right? So the water is getting into that. So the jiva get through the water, it is getting into that pulse. So the jiva will be getting into those pulse. So there's pulse when that is the third stage. It is getting into the pulse. Then the fourth stage, then it is the same pulse. See, the pulse, it is not necessary all the pulse will be eaten by human only. Some pulse may be eaten by the small insects. So the jiva get into the insect, and some pulse get in by some animals, getting into the animal, cows and goats. So the same pulse will be getting into multiple places. And even some pulse, some rice paddy, it will rise, it will get into the feet of the cow also, because cow is walking on that, on top of that. So the in between his legs also, in the feet also, the cow's feet also, it will touch. It will be there. That jiva will be there only. It will fall there only, and it cannot become a human being. After that, once the pulse will be eaten, that whatever the pulse will be eaten by a human person, human being, then only the pulse is getting into the body, and it will become then it will become a energy. That energy it will segregate it as a semen in a human body. This is the fourth stage. Then that person body, it needs to be transferred to a woman. It's a fifth stage. Then see, it is still the scientific science also saying that the same, once the semen is injected in the woman's womb, then what will happen? It is going lakhs of jivas, it is going there, but which is only one jiva. From that, only one jiva, it is entering that egg. Then it become fructified. Then it is taking the human form. So even you are going to the Sargaloka also, you have to kick it out from there, and from there you have to come back to this material world, and again based on our karma, we may take any form. It is not necessary we will take only the human form. We may take any form based on the pious credits, whatever our Papa Punya we have, based on the other remaining account, we will take another. So to getting into the human form, it is very rare. If you see the Jivatma from the sky, it is coming to the earth, and in the earth also, it is not necessary directly it is getting into the human body. No, it is not possible. It is getting into the, sometimes it may go to the animal body, sometimes it may go to the plants, sometimes go to the aquatic, any body it may go. So all the waters, remaining waters, it is go and merge with the sea. So the jiva go into the sea, and then the sea species, they are drinking their water, they are eating that. So the jiva getting into that, and they become aquatic there. So this is the way the cycle is happening. So this is the 5 stages. The jivatma, it is leaving from this material world, even though they are getting into Surgaloka, from there also it is kicked out, and it is after the pious get kicked out, it is coming, and it is taking the birth again in this material world. So it is very, very rare to become a human form. It get the become human form of life. So that is the reason the human form of life needs to be utilized properly, because we also just imagine that how it is. We just discussed how it is coming different area, and how the jivatma entering into the body of a human being. So it is very, very difficult to become a human form, get the human form of life. So once you get the human form of life, it should be utilized properly. That's what this sloka, it is mentioning that the time need to be utilized properly. The human form of life, the time need to be utilized properly, so that we will, if you are utilizing the time with the topics of spending the time, your time with topics of Lord and personality of Godhead, definitely for them there is no loss. They will always remain in this material world. So, for example, if you say Srila Prabhupada, so he left this material world, but any form of, he is in the form of life, whatever the purport, in this form of purport, he is living with us, along with us. So while reading the purport, his mind, his devotional activities, what is his understanding, we are also getting into that point, and we are discussing about that. So he is living in the form of his writings. So for the devotees, there is no loss at any cost. But for the person who is getting into the sense gratification, they will lose their identity also. So that's what we discussed now. So we have to, so from this sloka, we can understand that, so human form of life is very rare, and So the sun is rising, sun is setting. So the time is, one day it is going in our life. The sunrise and sunset, it means one day we are losing one day of our life. If you are not doing any material, your spiritual activity, then it is a waste of time. We wasted the one day. If you are doing the spiritual activity, then that means there is no loss in that, because you are adding you are reducing your duration of life in the future, if you are doing the spiritual activity. So please utilize the time. So from this sloka we can understand that we have to utilize our time to in the spiritual activity, any spiritual activity, chanting the holy name of the Lord, devotional, any of the devotional service, reading, hearing, any part of any way, we have to just connect with the Lord. So we have to think about that. We have to utilize the time properly and wisely, so that we can also go back to, it is not necessary so many births we need to take. The same very birth we can go back to Godhead if you utilize the time properly. Hare Krishna. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.